Hey everyone, how are y'all? And y'all don't forget to hit the thumbs up, put your chat on live chat. Cats, how are you? Betty Joe, how are you? Hey Vapor, how are you? Cat, send some of that cool weather down here because the struggle is real down here in the south right now. Like we are Vapor, I'm melting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm dying. It's so hot. Maisie, how are you? It's horrible down here. Hold on a minute, y'all. I have to do something over here. Maisie, you're very welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, let me do this real quick before I forget. Avery, thank you so much for gifting those memberships. That was very nice of you. And uh, Scott, Ilm, Kat, King Scarlet, Barbara G, and Raven are the five that got it. Has anybody seen Sally Mae? Hey Shane, how are you? Maisie, thank you so much for that super chat. That is very nice of you. Thank you. I'm trying to see when Sally Mae was last in Discord. Because I know she went over to Your Leaves Live earlier to get her updates on the trial today. Karma, how are you? All right, so for everybody coming in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way in the door. Put your chat on live chat so you don't miss any of the comments in the chat. Wait, did I drop the link? Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah, well, thank you. Just finished watching videos of Saturday night and also the balls were quick. Oh, dang, Shane, I hate to hear that. Sally Mae has just went MIA. She has not been in Discord in like a hot minute. Since like 6:45 tonight. Courtney, how are you? And Courtney, I love those pictures that you put in Discord today. Betty Joe, how are you?
Good.
I don't know where Sally Mae is. Is she supposed to be up here tonight?
I haven't seen her.
She had been in Discord in several hours.
She might have fell asleep.
She may have. If she did, that's fine because I know she's needed the rest. Courtney, you were very welcome. It that warmed my heart seeing the smile on his face with his new chair. That was awesome. Maybe you could be cats. I don't know. Usually though she's in Discord, but she hadn't been in there in a couple of hours. She did. Oh, wait a minute. She did DM me because she reminded me that Lawyer Lee had went live, but I didn't get to watch it. Well, that was after 7 o'clock, so she might have fell asleep. So I did send her a message to see where she's at.
Where is Avery?
She was in chat earlier. She gifted some memberships, said hi to everybody, and then I don't know where she disappeared to. Hey, Elsie, how are you? There's a court change in the Koberger case just a couple of weeks. Yes. So I really wasn't going to get into that tonight just because I'm trying to cover Crystal Rogers' case and the trial and everything. But I will say, y'all, and I'm so excited for this. The trial will be happening in August. Um, there is, let me pull up the scheduling order. So the defendant's motion to continue was denied. The uh, defendant's offer of proof regarding the alternate perpetrators was denied. And give me a second and let me pull up the schedule order because I do believe it did change a little bit. So the court's prior scheduling order is amended as follows. The sealed proceedings with the court and counsel will take place July the 28th, 2025 through August the 1st of 2025. So they were originally supposed to start jury selection on July the 30th. That has now changed. The jury voir dire will commence on August the 4th. So jury selection will now start August the 4th instead of July the 30th, rather than the July 30th, 2025, and continue until a jury is seated. Apparently, they think that this possibly could take a couple of days for jury selection, which won't surprise me as much media attention as this case has gotten. It is also estimated that the trial itself, beginning with opening statements, will commence on August the 18th and continue until completed. It was supposed to start
On the
August 11th,
yes.
but I guess because they had to push back the jury selection and all that a couple of days, they moved it back a week for the date of opening statements.
Oh well, there you go, Ann Taylor. You got a week.
So I'm super excited, y'all. Um, I was so excited I couldn't hardly contain myself in Discord earlier when I read about this because this is there comes Avery. Um, this when this trial and Shishi is saying that it starts on her birthday. Shishi, I'm going to be streaming this trial during my birthday. I'm going to be sitting here at my computer streaming Brian Koberger's trial that we have all been waiting for on my birthday. But the thing is, I'm good with that because after this trial is over with, even though they're saying 12 weeks, after it's done and over with, hey Dan, how are you? Just on, how are you? Um, it's going to it's going to be good things are going to happen. I will just say that for me. I can't go into detail, but there are going to be some very good things that's going to happen. I'm super excited. Um, Thank you, just Don. Just Don said it was adorable. Y'all, Scarlett peed a little when she got it. Y'all just don't know how excited I was just because of the opportunities afterwards, after the trial is over with. Avery, how are you?
Hi. Your I love your background, but it's gonna mess with me.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Why y'all do
sorry.
that? Why
It's
y'all do
gonna
that?
it gives
Hold on.
me it gives me like vertigo or whatever.
Stop looking at it.
Yes, somebody
What?
else said the first night that I had it up, somebody said that they had motion sickness. I don't
Yeah,
remember who it was. Okay, so I changed it, and if I'm not mistaken, was it Courtney or 9mm or somebody said what I have on there now look like the inside of a woman's uterus or
it
something. But
does. Yeah,
well, we just going with that tonight because
but
I'm
I like
tired
it.
of, yeah, I'm tired of the dark stuff. I'm in a good mood tonight. Also, news on uh, the the trial starting in August.
Oh, I know. Now, wait a minute though. So the only thing I thought it was starting August 11th, but
It,
somebody
it
said the 18th.
Yeah, they
okay.
pushed it back.
Yeah, so what had happened is because you know that they were supposed to start the jury selection on July 30th.
Hmm.
Okay, so that they now have an amended scheduling order. So the sealed proceedings with the court and counsel will take place July the 28th through August the 1st. So that they couldn't do the jury selection because that has now been amended and rescheduled or whatever. Jury selection will commence on August the 4th rather than July 30th and continue until a jury is seated. I'm pretty sure that jury selection is going to probably take a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't go a whole
A whole
calendar
week.
or yeah,
Yeah.
5 days.
Um, so then the other part of this amended scheduling order is it is estimated that the trial itself, beginning with opening statements, will commence on August the 18th, 2025, and continue until completed. So
So are they still thinking 12 weeks?
I'm pretty sure, unless something, because I think it's going to depend on Ann Taylor and how much crying she does. Honest,
Well, okay, so how can we just skip the month of July? Because I'm down for that.
We
we
can't.
we can't.
We can't.
Me and Betty Joe are against skipping the month of July.
Yeah.
If Big Brother wasn't
Why?
starting, because Big
You might
Brother
as well get up.
starts in July,
No,
and
no, 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 no.
yes,
I am going to get with Lori and get her portal, and I'm going to get this
Well,
figured out.
you
And
do that. But let
we're,
me tell you something. If you get with Lori and you work this whole portal thing out, you do not bring my name up to her. Okay, just done. Thank you so much for gifting those memberships. That is so very nice of you. Elsie, Dan Davis, Shane Reynolds, Sally Mae, and Patrick W. all
oh,
received memberships. Just on that was very nice of you. Thank you.
I gifted, did you see? I gifted some, but it was
Yes.
before the live started.
Yeah, I called
Okay.
them out and everything.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had my phone down. I didn't hear anything in the beginning. Had to do something.
Got an echo, Avery.
I have an echo.
Yeah, you're moving.
Yes.
You must be moving.
No, I'm sitting in my chair. Hold on.
You see my comment?
Oh wait, it's not in
Now
back
do
chat.
now do I have an echo?
No, you're good.
No, I don't hear it now. Oh, let's see. Tiff, how are you? Stearns. Wait, yes. Cockroach has one in July, but I don't know where my sticky note went with that information on it. Yeah, I cleaned my desk off. My desk is spotless right now, and I threw a shit ton of sticky notes away. So, yeah.
I said
Look,
I have a talk with the judge. He said the jury will be seated in 3 days.
I can't hardly hear you, Betty Joe.
Well, that's not my fault.
Okay, hold on, Avery, and let me pull it up here. I gotta find. Oh, right here. She said I had a talk with the judge, and he said that it will take 3 days for the jury to be seated.
How funny.
No, it's true. I did. Just like I talked to him before he denied it.
Betty Joe was like, I went and had a talk with him, and good thing he listened to me because if he wouldn't have, I'd have went over there and snapped.
Yep, I would have went there and snapped.
Betty Joe, you are emailing that man on the down low.
Yeah. No, we're not emailing.
Why is she so low?
I can hear, but here, let me put her up on
I hear
my end.
I hear you really good, but I can't hardly hear her.
Well, I don't know. My phone's turned all the way up.
Okay, you should be able to hear her better now.
Say something, Betty Joe.
Hold on, there's a car going by.
That's much better.
Okay, yeah, I just had to.
Okay, there we go. Every time I come out here, there's a car that wants to go by.
Okay, yeah, people in the chat are saying that Betty Joe was low too.
Yeah, she's good now, though.
Okay.
I thought I was losing my hearing. It's like, shit. Everything else is going. Now my hearing, too? Oh, my God.
It's that old age, Avery.
Could you guys imagine if I couldn't hear and then I couldn't talk because I wouldn't be able to hear anything?
Yes, I could imagine that.
That would be pretty cool. For a week. That's about
A
Yeah,
week?
then we would miss you after about a week. It would be peace and quiet.
for about a week.
And yeah, then we would miss your sarcasm and
Yeah.
your funniness and all that. And then we'd have to ask for your powers back.
You know what? Y'all would miss me after a day, okay?
A week. It would take a week.
No,
We'll let you. We will let you think a day.
Yeah.
We'll let you go with that to make you feel better.
Elsie, she'll miss me. And one day, Elsie will miss me.
Wait,
I don't think so.
She will.
where do you see Elsie would miss you?
Because that one night when I wasn't here, Elsie was paying a super chat to see where she was looking for me.
Yes, she did. 9mm like.
And then Courtney's my cuddle buddy. She would miss me.
Vapor be nice. What Vapor say?
What is he doing down there?
I don't think he said anything. I think 9mm was just cutting it off before it happened.
Oh God, Tucker hears you through the window.
Tucker.
God.
Courtney, you and Elsie, y'all are just making her feel good.
You're making her bigger than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Let me look at comments then.
Because Elsie said yes, ma'am, and then Courtney said totally. Y'all are just y'all are feeding that ego at y'all.
Look at that. Oh my God, Dawn said she'd have Avery withdrawals. Oh. She's so sweet.
I don't know about no Avery withdrawals, but
no.
Yes.
I mean, if you went missing, I would burn the world down looking for you. But
that's sweet.
We would do that, but
I'd fight a Care Bear for you.
That's it? A flipping Care Bear? Tucker could take the Care Bear out. What are you talking about?
Oh. That's all I could think of.
I would burn the world down to find her if she went missing, and she would fight a Care Bear for me, y'all. There's no balance there.
That's okay. I'd fight the world for you.
Thank you. See, Avery? Now you got my heart hurting.
No, where'd
she? See, Elsie said she makes me laugh out loud.
You do make us laugh.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
Should I make myself laugh? You should try being in my head for an entire day.
No.
No, that's going a little too far.
Yeah, we crossing the line with that. Hey, Ginger, how are you?
So you two are just like happy as pigs and playing and shit because you got Big Brother and you're getting the Coburger trial.
Oh no, that's not the only reason why I'm excited about all this. Like, I'm ready for Big Brother because me and Betty Jo's been going through the Big Brother withdrawals.
Yep.
But this whole Coburger trial, which we have been
waiting for.
Ginger, you're very welcome. Yes, we have been waiting for 2.5 years.
Yep.
I'm glad that it's starting in August because yes, it may take 12 weeks or it may take longer, and that's fine. Cats, exactly, it's way overdue.
These students deserve justice.
Yes, and their families deserve closure from all this. But there are things, and I can't go into details about it, but there are things that's going to happen after the trial is over with. And this trial is setting me up for those things that I have been wanting to happen. So I'm super excited.
Wait, what? I don't. Like something to do with you? It's something to do with you?
Well, yeah.
So something is happening?
It's just
Something is happening after the Koberger trial.
Yeah, it's just something's going to happen. Yes.
Is it going to make us happy?
I don't know about y'all, but it is me.
But you can't tell us?
No. Not right now.
And we're not going to bug her about it. So no, Avery.
I am.
It's
not.
It is
So it's something really good because you're happy. So
it's something that I'm trying to think of how to put this without giving the details.
I wouldn't.
It's something that's needed to happen for a while. It's something that I've been wanting to happen for a while. It's something that is going to be good for me.
Oh shit! You're getting a divorce. My dream.
Why is that your dream?
Because in my dream, you were wanting to kill your husband, and I was having to help you pack up and.
Oh yeah, with a bun on my head.
With a bun on your head.
Oh my God.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
she's getting a divorce. That's what it is.
Don't put that out in the universe, Avery.
No.
People will be running rampant with that.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm trying to think of things here. Let's see.
Well, stop thinking because it's making your brain hurt.
She told me about this dream the other that I had no idea that she had.
I know.
She's like, I don't know what you look like in real person, but I know what you look like in my dream. And you had a bun on your head, and you were just ballistic.
Yeah. Yeah. In my dream, you were like a little bit taller than me. So I'm 5'5". You were just like a little bit taller than me.
I'm 5'7".
You had brown hair, and I'm assuming it was really long because the size of the bun on your head was like gigantic.
Well, it's like 4 inches from my waist, so yeah.
Oh, okay. And of course you were in all black because you always tell me that you're in all black.
That's my favorite color.
She had boobs. I remember that. She had like a lot of boobs.
Oh my God.
But I think aside from the boobs, you were kind of skinny.
Okay. And I weigh 150 pounds.
So she's skinny.
And then you were pissed in that dream too.
My everyday life.
Every time I eat, like I eat a lot and then I lay down and fall asleep, I have the weirdest dreams every time.
That's okay, because you know what the baby did? She made me check under the bed to see if there were scary bears.
Aww. Poor baby.
She was watching something, and it scared her. And she said, "Can you please check under the bed?"
Oh, she was really scared.
I turned the flashlight on my phone, and I checked under the bed. I said, "Baby, there's no bears."
Yeah, I'd have told, if Jaden did that, I'd be like, oh shit, look at all them monsters under that bed.
No, she would have never went to sleep.
Tip, that is kind of what I do look like, but my hair is brown with a red tint to it.
And this was in my dream. This was like a super messy bun. Like you had strands of hair like coming down all around your face, and it was like a big messy bun. And it was because you were mad. And in my dream, we were in your bedroom. I think I know what your bedroom looks like now. And in my dream, you're like moving around so fast, throwing shit in boxes and telling me how we have to dispose of a body. And all I remember is your bun bouncing everywhere. It's like it was just going. I don't know.
She's like, I think I know what your bedroom looks like now.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, and don't forget, I was also living in Alabama. At this time, I wasn't even in Louisiana.
No, I think I was there at your house. That's what I think. I don't know.
I thought you told me that I lived not far from you. Yes, Courtney was sneaking us over.
Yeah, no, I think I must have lived close to you or something. And then you were talking, like you were talking about how we were going to have to get this money together for a private investigator because it was either that or we were going to have to dispose of a body. And I'm just like looking at you like,
Wait, why do I need money for a PI when I have one for free?
well,
I
that's
get
true.
the little sister discount. Remember?
Yeah, I don't know. You were crazy. You need to get it together in my dreams because you had me messed up.
Okay, but look,
Baby
how I
needs to
acted
get it
in the
together.
dream is how I am in real life when I get mad. So
I think so.
okay, so now Millimeter says Tiff, she needs to tell y'all why she is called Scarlet. So I'll get into that real quick, and then we'll jump into the Crystal Rogers case. So way back in the day when I first started doing lives, um, everybody just either called me Lost Souls, LSTC, or something like that. That's how everybody, and to this day, King Scarlet still does not call me Scarlet. She tags me as Lost in the chat. Well, this guy named Brian Hoffman used to come in my chat every night, and he would come up on panel. And Brian is, I'm not going to say flamboyant, but he's very hyper. He's very out there, very sweet as can be. And he would always come up on my panel. So one night he comes up and he was like, you know what? He said, all these people tagging me was Lost or LSTC or this or that. He said, have you ever seen the movie Gone with the Wind? And I said, no. And to this day, I've never seen it. And he said, I've never seen it. I do need to watch it. But he says, because of your Southern accent and the way you talk, and he claimed my voice at the time was very soft and all this and that. He said, I'm going to start calling you Scarlet. And to this day, no matter where he sees me at, whether it's in my chat or someone else's chat, it is always, hey, my Scarlet. My
Aww.
Scarlet, it's always been that. He has never wavered from calling me my Scarlet. That's what he's always called me. And so
I know who he is. I've seen him around.
Yeah, I love him to death. He hasn't been in here in a while, but he's from Florida. He's as sweet as he can be. And so when he started calling me Scarlet, then everyone, it kind of just stuck, and everyone else in the chat started calling me that. And then I would go to other people's chats and hang out, with in other creators' lives and stuff. And someone from my chat would be in there, and they would start calling me that over there, and everybody just kind of picked it up. So, like, my TikTok, I want to say my Instagram has it on there. I just took it and stuck with it, and that's what everybody knows me as, except for the expert. He's never called me Scarlet, but everybody else does.
I mean, you sound like a Scarlet.
Yeah.
I don't know what a Scarlet would sound like.
Me neither.
I don't either.
But I mean, it's in that I started doing lives this month. I believe June the 8th made 3 years that I started doing lives, and that would have been, I want to say, during the Kylie Rodney case. Is when he started coming in, when Brian started coming in, and
been that long.
Yeah,
I'm still thinking about what's happening after the Koberger trial. It's driving me nuts.
You will know when the time is right. Courtney said, bring her a Red Bull and back away slowly. I mean, if you want to get to my heart, a Red Bull and a pack of gummy bears.
You're joining a podcast. You're making a podcast.
No. Girl, I got 2 channels.
You're going to turn your camera on?
No.
No?
No.
No, it's something good for you. Okay, well, I'll be thinking.
She's like, I'll be thinking, like, I'm not going to tell you right now. Even if you guessed it, I wouldn't tell you. Is it personal? It's personal.
It's personal.
It's personal. And I think somebody put Hawaii in the chat earlier. I wish, like, me and King Scarlet had a whole Hawaiian trip planned, but then planes and helicopters started falling out the sky, and I second guessed flying.
I won't even fly right now with all the stuff going on with the plane.
I'm sorry, cats. Kat said, Scarlett, you are such a tease. I'm not trying to tease anybody. I'm just super excited about this trial. Gigi, no, ma'am. No, no.
What'd she say?
She said, you're pregnant. No, no,
You're
That,
doing an OnlyFans.
oh, God, no. Gigi, that factory was shut down 6 weeks after my daughter was born, and she's 22. Uh-uh. No, nope. Tiff, the planes are not fine.
You're having a grandbaby.
I wish.
I give up.
Well, that's good.
If I was having a grandbaby, I would tell y'all that now because I'd be like fucking ecstatic. I'd have done with broke buying baby stuff.
Sally Mae.
Huh?
Where's Sally Mae?
I don't know. She sent me a message earlier, told me that Lawyer Lee was going live, and that was the last time I heard from her. And I was doing something else at the time, and told her I would try to drop in there while she was still live, and I didn't get a chance to because by the time I got over there, she had done ended it. And then she hasn't been back in Discord since, and I even tagged her asking where she was at.
She must have
And
fell asleep because
She might
this
be.
is her case that she wants to talk about. So, was she up all night, or do you know?
that I don't know, but I mean, if she fell asleep, I'm perfectly fine with that. Just because I know that she's been needing rest.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm trying to send one back real quick. Let's see. You're inheriting money from an old. I wish, Gigi. I wish. Ain't nobody in my family gonna give me shit. I can promise you that.
Hmm.
Oh, King Scarlet, I just saw your. Wait, is King Scarlet in here?
Is Vapor in here?
Yeah, he was in.
here, I believe.
I thought I saw her, but I don't see her now. But she had posted a thing about Travis Decker in Discord. Vapor was in here just a few minutes ago. I don't know if he still is or not.
Is there even any updates on Travis Decker? I
Um,
think he's
No.
dead, honestly.
so, to begin with, the cops thought that he was still alive. What is Betty Joe? I answered you back.
Oh,
Um, okay, King. I was just saying, King Scarlet. Just saw the thing that you posted in Discord.
some
So
people seem to think he's already unalive.
Yeah,
yeah.
I do.
So apparently, the cops a few weeks ago thought that there was a potential for him to still be alive because there was no evidence saying that he wasn't. But now they think that he has either died in the wilderness and they just haven't found him yet, or he is not in the area anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So, because
Hmm.
if he is deceased, hopefully they do find him so they know for 100% sure that he is dead and not still out,
Yeah,
running wild.
yeah,
And
because I I can imagine Whitney is probably kind of living, like on the edge, not knowing if he's going to
yeah,
come for her or if, you
right.
know,
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, and in my opinion, I'm thinking that maybe this had what he did might have had something to do with getting back at her because all she's trying to do was protect her daughters,
yeah,
and he goes to the court, tries to get more time with them or whatever, and you know,
yeah, yeah, because
um,
fear of, so with him having the complex borderline personality disorder, one of the triggers is fear of abandonment, and that will trigger that disorder.
mhm. And yeah, the fact that he was having a hard time earlier in that day, and I did read an article today that said that the day that Friday when he went and picked the girls up from uh, their house, the neighbor was outside, and the neighbor said he didn't even recognize him. He was like really skinny. He had a beard. Uh, didn't even realize to begin with that it was him. and that he talked to him for about 30 minutes, and Travis in that 30 minutes was just kind of out there, and he really wasn't, I don't know what the right word would be, but he basically had asked the neighbor, "How you doing?" like 3 or 4 times, even though the neighbor had answered him.
Oh, wow.
And he said he was just, he said he's never had a problem with him before. He's known him for years. They were neighbors for years. He was a good guy. He just did not seem like himself that day.
Well, that's the thing. His ex-wife said that he was never violent. He was nothing like that. Just
Yeah, just that
so just
PTSD and the mental health problems he had.
yeah, it's really
Yes.
sad, and I blame the VA system, or
Yeah, it definitely needs to be better for
yeah.
the veterans, for sure. So, okay, so let me get started on the Crystal Rogers case. The only updates I have is what the news station was putting out on their updates throughout the day while in court. I do have a few notes from Lawyer Lee when she went live for a few minutes on the lunch break, but I did not get to watch her thing today. And I know Sally Mae was in there. Hopefully, she will come in later on before I end it, and then we will play. I'll try to get through the rest of Brooks Houck's interview that we had started watching last night.
Oh yeah, that's right. I want to watch more of that too.
Okay, so today is the 26th, right? Okay, yeah. I had to date my notes for today. Okay, so yesterday when court adjourned, the detective John Snow was on the stand. He was the lead investigator at the very beginning of the case. When court started back up this morning, he was back on the stand. And okay, so let me hold on just a second, y'all. Okay. Um, I keep getting stupid commercial. Hold on, Gigi, and let me change that for you real quick. Hold on. Y'all, just 1 second. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off because when I start playing that video, it doesn't. I don't need the commercials popping up. Okay. All right. So, Detective Snow said that they have not even been able to verify that Crystal made it home after going to the Houck family farm that night. They haven't ever been able to verify that. So the jury did watch Brooks Houck's interviews. I think there was like a couple of different ones that they had. Gigi, you're welcome. That he had done, and so those were played for the jury. During July 7, 2015 interview with the Kentucky State Police, Brooks was asked what was the worst thing that had ever happened to him, but he couldn't answer that question. So he's sitting here saying, yeah, we had arguments like every other couple does, but we pushed through, we made it through and we loved each other and all this and that. Your girlfriend is missing, the mother, who is also the mother of your child. You're asked what is the worst thing that you've ever went through, and you can't even answer that question by saying, my girlfriend, who is the mother of my child, is missing and I don't know where she's at. Like, he couldn't even give that as an answer. So the next day after that interview was done, so on July 8th, Detective Snow said that he reviewed phone records from Crystal and Brooks. That's when he noticed that the midnight phone call on Brooks's phone, Snow told the jury that up until then, Brooks didn't even mention that call. So if y'all remember, Brooks said they got home, he went on to bed, Crystal was on her phone playing games, which we now know that was a lie because Crystal's phone was cut off at like 9:30, something like that at night. When it was found in the car on July 5th, it was completely dead, even though there was a charger in her car, a phone charger. Detective Snow said he called Brooks in for another interview, which was also played for the jury. And then he says, "What I'm really struggling with is what you guys were doing at the farm." This is what Detective Snow is asking in the interview to Brooks. Detective Snow said that Brooks took roughly an hour and a half to write a full statement on what had happened on July the 3rd. So basically, everything that happened that day. Brooks then began reading it out loud. And Detective Snow was in another room, observing, watching what he was doing, listening to him read his statement out loud. Um, that statement was also handed out to the members of the jury so they could read it. So Detective Snow said that after that interview and after Brooks had wrote out his statement, took him an hour and a half. He's sitting here in this room. He's reading it out loud. He asked for the camera footage because when they put you in a room, if you've ever been interrogated, arrested, whatever, they put you in a room. It's got a camera. They're on the other side of the mirror, watching you, listening. Everything is recorded. After Brooks left, he asked for the footage of when he was in this room. The
Why would
detective,
he want the footage so he could remember what he said?
no, the detective asked for the footage.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Brooks.
No,
Okay.
but it's weird though that Brooks was reading his statement out loud, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the kicker to that. When the detective, apparently he thought it was kind of weird too that Brooks was reading his statement out loud, which is why he asked for the camera footage. When the detective goes back and watches the camera footage, he realizes that when Brooks walks into the interrogation room,
Yeah.
he's playing with an audio recorder in his pocket.
Wow.
So he
So
was recording it
that's
himself.
what, yes, that is the reason why he also read his statement out loud.
Oh.
So did they take the video recorder from him, or did they
I,
let him leave with it?
he left with it because the detective did not know that he had done that until after he had done left and he got the footage and reviewed it.
Right.
And then he realizes he was
Crazy.
walking into the room. He was basically trying to uh, adjust it in his pocket.
Yeah, because he probably pinched himself when he went to sit down.
Mm. Welcome back, Vapor. So, see, during a portion of the interview, Brooks is explaining what he, Crystal, and their son were doing at the farm. He said that there was a fire, and once it went out, they packed up and left. I can't say for 100% sure or 100% positive that this is when Crystal died, but I think when he's referring to the fire, that's when something happened to Crystal.
Yeah. I don't think she ever left that farm either.
I don't either. Like he said, they're not able to verify that she even made it home that night from the farm. Um, I I don't know if because this was said, this wasn't put in the updates. And this is the worst part about not being able to watch it being live streamed. It was said that they dug this burn pile up and tested it and searched for like human remains or anything like that. They didn't put it in there. Um, but I'm curious because Brooks had a construction company, so yeah, he did burn construction material and building material, stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure he also had heavy equipment that he could have very easily moved this what was burned and got rid of it if that is what happened. Okay, let's see. It seemed a little so. The detective tells Brooks it seems a little late to be leaving from the farm around midnight with a baby because their little boy at that time was very young. Brooks was like, no, his eyes were wide open, talking about the baby because it was just him, Crystal, and their little boy.
And what
Brooke, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said, what time was it?
Apparently, they left around midnight from the farm.
And they had the baby with them?
Yeah,
What?
which is also at midnight is when there was a phone call that was made that he did not tell the detective about, that the detective had to find while he was going through Crystal and Brooks' phone records.
Wow.
And they just happened to leave as soon as the fire went out, which was around midnight. That's when they packed up and left. And then the phone call was made at midnight.
Wait, what did you say about a baby in a bar?
Yeah.
I missed that
No,
part.
wait, a baby in a bar.
I mean, you
I said
said
a no. I said a fire.
no. She said fire at a bar,
Oh,
but
Betty
No,
they
Jo
had
say
their
something
baby.
about
Did
a.
they have their baby with them when they left the bar?
no, they went in a bar.
Oh,
Wait, where y'all getting a bar from?
I don't know.
I heard Betty Jo say it, and I'm like, wait, what did I miss?
No, I said what
Oh
No, you
no,
said a baby in a bar.
about the baby being wide awake at midnight?
yeah, they had the baby with them at the farm,
The
and
Yeah,
farm.
at the
yeah,
farm.
at the farm. And then Brooks told the detective that they had a fire going, and whenever the fire went out, that's when they packed up and left around midnight. And the detective was like, well, that's kind of late to be leaving with a baby at midnight. And he was like, no, he was wide awake.
Yeah,
His eyes were wide open.
bull. Not at midnight,
And
but a baby.
right, and I'm thinking that this is might have been during the time something happened to Crystal. It has to do with that fire and that call at midnight. He made the call at midnight that the detective found out about.
Right.
Um, and they happened to leave the farm at midnight.
Yeah. Something's.
Tip exactly. He calls Crystal up, tells her, "Hey, I want to have a date with no kids," or however it was that he told her that she was all excited about. But then they end up at the family farm.
Yeah, that's not a date. And
No,
you have the baby with you.
right? Uh, you know,
Okay, so where were the other kids?
the other
They were
kids were
with
at home. I think they
with.
had a babysitter.
Oh, I don't
Okay,
know.
so Brooks tells the detective that they didn't stop anywhere after leaving the farm and just went straight home, which is where apparently he went to bed while Crystal was playing games on her phone that we now know is a lie. Let's see. The prosecutors also played the phone call between Steve Lawson and Brooks while Brooks is being questioned by the police. Snow said that what stood out most during that conversation is how it started. So apparently, while Brooks was being interviewed by the police, he called Steve Lawson, which we know that Steve had his trial last month, and he has it on speakerphone, and he asked him like if he could do some work for him or something like that. But apparently, Steve, instead of answering the question, started out talking about buying a house or something like that. Like it was might have been rehearsed, and hey, if I call you while I'm in this interview with police, you know, this is what you say. And Steve, it sounds like might have jumped the gun on it. It says Lawson immediately started talking about getting a house instead of answering the question that he was asked, which is what the detectives said on the scene today. Prosecutors then played the portion of Brooks' interview where Brooks' brother Nick, who at the time was still a Bardstown police officer, he calls to advise Brooks to end the conversation, which Brooks did, which, if I'm not mistaken, is on the interview that we had started watching last night. Snow also testifies that before the phone call, Nick was never suspected to police in Crystal's case. The phone call, though, telling Brooks to end the conversation with the police or the interview with the police is what caused them to suspect him of having some part in all of this. Let's see. Jury then hears Brooks' interview with Nancy Grace, where he is questioned about the night that Crystal went missing. I could not find Nancy Grace's interview with him. Now, I did not look very hard. I did search for it. Everything that kept coming up regarding Nancy Grace and Brooks Houck interview was that interview was entered as evidence in for his trial. So it was news stations was I think only playing like a portion of it. I'm trying to find the entire interview between Nancy Grace and Brooks' house. So he said that night that nothing special that night was nothing special, and didn't realize that Crystal was gone until the next morning. So this is part of the interview with Nancy Grace. Surveillance footage was also shown in court where Brooks' truck can be seen followed by Nick's police vehicle. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they were going when that was both of their vehicles were seen on camera. They were heading towards the family farm.
And that family farm was what, his mother?
It was his mom. I don't know if his dad was still alive at that point, but I know the mom has a boyfriend now. Um, so yeah, his mom. I'm pretty sure the boys, Nick and Brooks grew up on the farm.
Right.
It's like 200 something acres. 200 something acre farm. Like it's a huge farm.
Yeah.
Okay, so July the 9th, Detective Snow called Nick into the station for questioning. The then Bardstown Police Chief, Rick McCubbin, also made the decision to have Nick's police cruiser processed for evidence, and the trunk of that car was shown to the jury. It does not say if there was anything found in Nick's police car. I'm pretty sure, once witnesses get to moving along and they start calling up more police officers or whatever, that may come out if there was anything found. But I also think that if there would have been anything found, they would have charged him with it as well. Okay, several days later, authorities search the Houck family farm, but they don't find anything. Which, like I said, Brooks owns a construction company. He has heavy equipment, I'm sure. It wouldn't be hard for him to move evidence and get rid of it if he needed to.
Have they taken dogs out to the farm? I mean, I know this was like so many years ago, but did they ever take, the cadaver dogs and the search? What are the other ones? Cadaver and what are the other dogs called? Search dogs, I guess.
Yeah. That would be a question for Sally Mae.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember, and I don't remember them ever doing that.
I don't either.
I remember the searches, but I don't remember dogs.
Yeah, I don't remember if there remember anything about being mentioned about dogs. Like that, like I said, that would be a question for Sally Mae because she would know that because she's been following this case from the jump, like when it first happened way back in the day 10 years ago. She was following it. Okay, so Brooks did ask what it would take to clear his name. Detective Snow told him, and this is in quotes, "I told you to provide more details in your statement." The prosecutor asked Detective Snow if he did that, and Detective Snow said he did not. So it took him an hour and a half to write out a statement. I'm not sure how long Brooks's statement was. I don't know if it was multiple pages, a single page, whatever. But apparently he did not provide enough details in the original statement to clear his name, and he did not provide any other details in order to clear his name.
Well, I'll stop you for just 1 second because there's something I don't quite understand.
Okay.
So the trial is for both of them. It's for Brooks and Lawson, right?
It's for Brooks and Joseph Lawson which is Steve's son. Yeah, because Steve's son had his trial.
So when they have a trial and there's two people, and these two people have completely different charges, like how is this working? Like, are they doing Brooks first and then I don't understand it.
Okay, hold on, because I've got that wrote down.
Okay.
And I think I sent you, hold on, let me check the DM real quick, because in the interview, hold on. Okay, the WHAS 11 interview thing that I sent you last night, and the thumbnail's got the man and the woman sitting in the chairs or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, if you watch that, they basically, the guy there, which is the legal analyst, that, former prosecutor and all this and that, he explains how it will happen. But I did write it down, I think, somewhere while he was explaining it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so basically, when they had to open a statement, Brooks has his attorney, Joseph Lawson has his attorney. Um, they one one of the two attorneys does the opening statement. Brooks Houck's attorney did it. If Brooks, if when they come to cross, both attorneys have the option to cross. Either one of them, both of them, neither, however they want to do that. And then it will be, I can't remember what he said about the closing arguments, though, because he did explain like the whole process of how that was going to happen. I don't know what I did with those notes, but if you watch that video, it's kind of long, but it's got a lot of good information in it. I don't know what I did with those notes though, but I don't even remember who sent it. It might have been Sally Mae that sent it to me. But it also talks about the 410 rule, and I did tag you and Sally Mae both in an article that I found today that talks about the 410 rule, and it has to do with, I think, entering evidence or something like that.
Okay. I'll watch that video that you sent.
Okay, and the
But it's
article.
weird to me how they do that too. So those two lawyers have to work together.
Yeah, basically, because so Brooks has the murder charge. Hold on, let me find my damn
What
charges
would
for
they
the
have
two.
done if those attorneys said no, we don't want to work together?
Well, see, they were supposed to, I believe, originally have all three of them tried together, but Stephen Lawson said that he did not want to be tried with them.
Oh, okay.
So
So
that's
they
how,
agreed to it. The other two
yeah.
must. Oh, okay.
So he, I guess, would have to motion the court in order to have a trial on his own, and he got his
Yeah.
own trial. Okay, so
So weird.
Brooks has the murder charge, and then he has tampering with physical evidence. Joseph and Steve both have the same exact charges. They both are charged with conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. So they all three have the tampering with physical evidence.
Mhm.
Brooks did not get the conspiracy to commit murder. He got the murder charge.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Okay.
That's going to be it's going to be interesting for the jury. I think it would be a bit confusing, but that's just my opinion.
Well, apparently today, because after they do their cross and everything, and then the judge will ask the jury if they have questions or whatever. Um, Apparently today, at the end of Detective Snow's testimony, there was a few questions that the jury did have. But let me see if I can find, because I know I wrote that down the other day about how it works. And now that's going to bug the shit out of me. Okay, so apparently during this trial, I'll get back to what happened today, but apparently during this trial, they can't play anything that Stephen Lawson said in his trial unless maybe there is a sentencing deal that was cut for Stephen Lawson. So this is what I think the dude's last name is Mudd, I believe, the legal analyst in the video that I sent to you. Let's see. The prosecutor will call their witnesses, and both defense attorneys will be able to cross. So there was nothing said about Joseph Lawson's attorney doing cross today. It was only Brooks' attorney. So apparently, Joseph Lawson's attorney he had nothing for the detective. Okay, so when Brooks calls his witnesses, then the second defense will question, and then the state will cross. So when it switches over and the defense starts calling their witnesses, then they will both get the question, and then the state would then cross. So that's how that's working. There will be two different sets of jury instructions, one for each defendant. There will be two different closing arguments, one for each defendant, plus the prosecution will have a closing. So there's actually going to be, instead of two closings, there will in this trial be three.
So crazy to me. And you have to wonder, like the Lawsons, it's weird that one would not want to have his trial with his dad. Makes you think that maybe they're at odds, you know?
Well, it was the dad that didn't want the trial with Brooks and his son.
Yeah, so it makes you
Yeah.
think that they're at odds or something.
I'm wondering if Stephen Lawson's going to take the stand in this case, because he did tell them.
Yeah, me too.
You know, because originally it was said that the reason why the Lawsons' phones pinged there at close to the Bluegrass Parkway, which is where Crystal's car was found, was because one of Stephen Lawson's ex-girlfriends at the time had hit a car from him over there close to the parkway, and so they went there that night to pick the car up. Stephen Lawson gets on the stand in his trial and says, no, I went over. The reason why my phone pinged over there is because I went to pick my son up, talking about Joseph, who broke down in Crystal's car on the Bluegrass Parkway. And when he was asked about Crystal's seat being pushed back and then being pushed, like, did he push it back up when he got out of the car to make it look like she was the one driving? He was like, yeah, I'll take the blame for that. I'm the one that pushed her seat back up. So
right there, he's admitting they did something.
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm wondering if there's some type of plea deal that's about to happen, because the jury is recommending 17 years for him to be sentenced. He gets sentenced sometime in August, I believe it is.
Yeah, August 6th. But they recommended 17 years.
Yes.
But still, this is still what bothers me, though. Even if they get a conviction and stuff, but for Crystal's children, I feel like they still need to find her. Even if they get the conviction, they still need to be.
Well, she needs to have a proper burial.
Yeah.
There needs to be a place that her kids can go, and then later on, grandkids can go to a grave to visit with her, talk to her, bring her flowers or whatever. They need that place.
Yeah.
And right now, they don't have that place. They don't even know where their mama is.
See, that's what would be for me, I think that's what would be the most agonizing part, for the children. Right. Maybe if he does testify in this trial, maybe he'll give it up. Maybe he'll.
I don't know.
He's already been convicted, but he wants a retrial, right? He appealed.
Yeah, I think he motioned for a retrial based off the fact that the judge wouldn't allow the hairs that was found in Crystal's car to be admitted into evidence. But I also heard that the reason why the judge didn't allow it is because the hairs would then have to be tested. But they've had going literally almost 10 years. Like a week from today would be 10 years that this case has been going on. They've had plenty of time to send those hairs off.
So let's think about this for a second, though. If he's wanting a new trial, I'm trying to figure, if he testifies in this trial, then how would that benefit him in a new trial? Would that make sense?
It wouldn't benefit him, because he would have to go through a whole new trial if the judge granted the trial. And I don't know if he's going to testify. I'm just wondering if he is, in order to get a lighter sentence.
Me too.
If he was to testify and the judge denies the new trial, then he testified, he told what he was supposed to tell, and if that's what they're working out as far as a plea deal, he gets a lesser sentence.
Well, Betty Jo, since you're able to get a hold of judges, make you a JPay account and get in touch with that dude and tell him to do a plea. Where'd she go? She's just ignoring me.
No, she said in the chat, "Oh my God, I need a vacation." We all need a vacation, Betty Jo.
She's talking about from the baby, that sweet, innocent baby.
Well, I know what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no sweet innocent baby here.
Yes, it is. Her name is Bubbles. What are
I
you
knew
No,
talking
that would
about?
get her
no.
up.
Man.
That baby does no wrong, Betty Jo. You know that.
But she does. Oh,
They've
but
got
she
to
does.
have more though in this case, like because it's so
So,
much
what do you want me to do? Talk
circumstance.
to the judge?
No, I want you to go talk to the dad, Stephen Lawson, and tell
Or
him
what?
because you need to stop. Have you not been listening?
If I go talk to him,
Yeah.
he's not never going to talk again. Do you understand that?
He's gonna be eating through a straw.
Okay, scratch that.
To
I'll
talk to
email
these,
him.
you don't send me to talk to these
She
creeps
can.
that take people's lives.
No,
She
what was I
look.
thinking?
She can see. She has to go talk to the judge because she has to be nice to the judge.
Yeah,
Right. I
yeah,
don't have to be nice to them.
that's true. Okay, I'll handle it. I'll email him.
Vapor said he could still write it down. Not as she breaks his hands.
Whoop. He's not going to talk. He's not going to. He's not going to be able to do anything. Do you understand? He'll
He's not
be.
gonna.
He'll be 6 feet under.
But so I'm thinking they've because so far everything that I've been hearing on the lady who's been posting on Twitter, or, the news stations, everything sounds circumstantial. It's all circumstantial evidence.
Yeah,
But
that's what the prosecution said that their case was. It's all circumstantial because they
they
have no
did say
body.
that.
Yeah, they have no
So,
body. They have no murder weapon. They don't know how
but there's got to be
the death happened.
something.
None of that.
They've got to have some kind of bombshell, something
Okay,
in
so
order to go for murder, because they went for murder first degree. So they've got to have something.
if you remember, this was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They claimed that they found an item of interest.
And
Oh yeah,
Okay, but they never said what that item of interest was.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it has not been brought up yet that I know of in this trial. And hold on, let me find my notes because today when I was watching Lawyer Lee at lunchtime, because she does a short, quick live at lunch and kind of goes over, what happened in the morning, and then at night she goes over everything, deep dives it and everything. There was something about. Okay, so she said that the defense is stressing how Brooks was cooperative with the police. He let them search his place without uh, a warrant and blah, blah, blah. Always showed up for all of his interviews that he was called in for. Uh, but she said that there was some important information around Crystal's phone and that it was dead when they found it in her car July the 5th. And it had not been cut on since 9 o'clock at night, 9:30, something like that, July the 3rd.
So now, is this one of those things where the jury can come back and say, like, say they don't find him guilty for murder in the first, but they could say, but we find him guilty for second-degree murder, or is that not?
That would be in the jury instructions, wouldn't
it? So I don't know, because in that state, I don't know if they have to add those charges on for the jury to be able to consider lesser charges, or if the jury can just recommend a lesser charge.
Well, Kentucky is a commonwealth, so
yeah.
Let me. I need to make this court. I've got to get a third monitor, y'all.
Because don't you think that if prosecution, knowing that their case is all circumstantial, and they're still going for murder in the first, don't you think that they must have something in their pocket to know they're going to get that? Otherwise, they would have added on lesser charges.
Vapor, I don't think King Scarlett's made it back in here yet. She said a few minutes ago that she was listening, but she was driving.
Well, I mean, just because you think that they ain't got the evidence, or it doesn't sound like they do. Trust me, they do.
That's what I'm
Otherwise,
thinking. They gotta
they
have
wouldn't say
something.
murder one,
They gotta have something.
because they could have went for second degree
Mm-hmm.
or manslaughter.
Because you don't really see too often prosecutors going for murder in the first based on a total circumstantial. No, they don't even have any red stuff.
Right.
So I feel like they gotta have something.
Yeah, they have to have. And and does anybody know how she was actually unalived?
No,
No,
Okay, see, they could
they
have.
don't know any. They don't know how. They don't know if there was a weapon used because they don't have a weapon.
Right.
They don't. They have
they
no
have
idea.
enough. Yeah,
But
like
but but see, it's been what, 10 years?
they don't even
Hmm.
have a drop of blood.
Okay, they could have something and not put it out to the public.
Right. Which is,
Like,
I mean,
say,
I'm hoping because he is the one charged with murder. Uh, that it's going to come out. If they
yeah,
have whatever it is,
they
it's going to
found
come out.
something.
Yeah.
They found something.
Okay, so in the state of Kentucky, if a jury does not find a person guilty of murder, they may still recommend another charge based on the evidence presented during the trial.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Because a lot of the Commonwealth states do that, and that's what I was wondering. So they
So
may,
they would
yeah.
still get there would still be a conviction, there would still be a sentencing.
Hmm.
It just may be of a lesser charge, and I don't even know what.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I do know the state of Kentucky does have the DP because I remember looking that up last night, but I don't think they. I haven't seen where they went for the death penalty.
So I think if they would have went for the DP, that would have been an an overcharge. I think they would have been overcharging unless they really had some, like, I'm talking like something on video, or something really.
Okay,
That was the problem with Casey Anthony. They overcharged.
so in Kentucky, the maximum sentence for murder can be the death penalty, life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, or life with parole after 20 or 25 years, depending on the circumstances of the case.
Yeah.
So he can get life with the possibility of parole,
Right.
Yeah.
which is going to suck because where the fuck is Crystal?
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Or they. I don't understand why they didn't try to. I mean, I get it. You want him to go to prison for the rest of his life
mm-hmm.
because he is the one who did this. But I don't understand why they didn't like offer him some type of deal on where, if he gives up where she's at, you get life with maybe the possibility of parole.
They may
They
have
should have done.
mentioned. They may
I
have. They
They
may
should
have.
have done
honestly,
something like that.
if they would have done that, I don't think he would have taken it because then he would have to implicate his mama
Well,
Mhm.
and his brother
oh well,
also,
Mhm.
and I don't think he would have done
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
oh well. I mean, you're gonna sit the rest of your life in prison without the possibility of parole, while them two walk the streets.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think Brooks Houck's trial is going to be the last we hear of this case because his mama and his brother are both non-indicted co-conspirators in
Yep.
the case, and they're under investigation. And I think that after they get a conviction
Mm,
on
yep,
him,
yep,
then they are
yep,
going to go after. That's going to be the next two arrests that we hear about if they can
yep.
That's.
find Nick, because
That's
apparently they don't know where Nick is at.
that's what I was thinking. As soon as
Mhm.
after they get a conviction on him, they're gonna arrest them too,
Yep.
So Nick
and
And
they're gonna file
disappeared.
charges on them.
apparently Nick has disappeared because that's what the dude on that video that I sent you, the legal analyst, I believe he's
Uh,
the one that said it, that Nick Houck is nowhere to be found.
oh wow.
Mom
And
probably, probably did away with him.
I don't think he would go that far away from his mama because what I'm
They're kitty
gathering.
boys.
Yeah, they are very close to their mama,
Oh, I know.
and I don't think he's going to go very far away from her where he can't see her, because
Yeah,
if he's trying to disappear and not be found because of law enforcement, he's not going to call his mom on the phone. He's
No.
ex law enforcement. He knows. Well, I thought he was smart enough to know, but the dumbass had recordings of his grand jury testimony in his house, so he's not
Yeah.
that smart. But he knows how it works. He would know that they would check into phone records. They can get the search warrants for that, and you not even know about it. He's not going to call his mama. He's not going to call anybody else in the family, but he's going to be in a position where he can go see his mom.
yeah. Hmm.
See what I'm saying? He is. You can tell that him and Brooks both are mama's boys.
How long has he been missing? Did the guy say?
He didn't say, just something about
Um,
that Brooks House. I mean, Nick House is he can't be found, and I it wasn't mentioned today if Rosemary, which is their mom, if she was in court, but I know yesterday she was not in court, and neither was Nick and Crystal's son. Which
Can you? I was just thinking. Can you imagine having to sit through 3 closing arguments?
oh, it's gonna probably take days, because in this case, hold on, where'd my
Yeah.
little piece of paper go? Hold on. Shit, I was just reading off of it. Hold on, let me find it again. There is like,
I'm
here it
glad
is.
I'm not on that jury.
Oh, fuck a duck, that ain't the right one. Hold on.
Every time I get summoned for jury duty, I always go in there and tell them I can only concentrate on what's being said for all of 10 minutes, and then squirrel. And guess what? They don't pick me.
Where in the Sam Hill shit? That goes there. Page 4, page
They wouldn't want
5,
me on the jury.
page 6.
I'd convict them all.
But he's
I'd
just like, I
convict
don't
them.
even need to hear the evidence. He is guilty.
Yep.
I'd be like, I can't get my cigarette breaks. Guilty. I just had to sit here for this many weeks without having my cigarettes. You're all guilty.
Yep.
So I'd find the judge guilty.
Yo, I literally was just reading off this piece of paper. Where the hell did I put it at? What the fuck?
Baby drives me nuts.
That baby ain't doing nothing wrong. Okay,
Can
here
I
we go.
have some Jello?
Give that baby some Jello.
She just ate it.
Well, give her another one.
No.
Yeah, baby, be glad Auntie Scarlett ain't there, because that baby just would not want for nothing. I'm telling you. Me and her be sitting up in there watching some kind of cartoon, whatever it is she like, eating Jello and
Strawberry
everything
Jello.
else, ice cream and all that.
That's what she likes. She likes strawberry Jello.
Okay, there is 400,000 pages of evidence,
Holy moly.
hours of audio, and they're saying that this is possibly a 3-week trial. Is what
For
the
him?
legal analyst is
For him?
saying for Brooks and Joseph Lawson.
Yeah, I seen that it was an entire terabyte of but I know
400,000 pages of evidence.
So,
That's a lot of fucking evidence, y'all.
so why
yes.
they got more evidence on them two than they did Joseph's dad or whoever he is?
I don't know, but apparently in Stephen Lawson's trial, they had witnesses that the public, the media, nobody even knew about. Like, that's how close they kept quiet on this. So,
Yeah.
and once again, it explains it all in that video. Um, so they're thinking that possibly this trial also is going to have witnesses that nobody knew about. Well,
Probably.
possibly would now, because it's probably going to be the same witnesses, but
Yeah, probably.
See, I think those are like the best cases when the investigators keep everything so quiet and then boom, and you're like, what? I think that's what's going to happen in the Coburg trial too. I think there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, and we're going to just be floored.
oh, fuck a duck. Hold on a minute. Wait. I need to remove that. Remove it.
Well,
Hold on, y'all. Shit.
That's why I can't be on no jury because I'll convict them.
Her expression.
I'll convict them by how they look at you.
Wait, what is it, Avery?
Yeah, so your expression.
Oh. No, y'all, could y'all imagine us being on Kohlberger's jury? We'd be like, he is not even moving. He is a statue. This ain't the real dude.
Right?
He's guilty for impersonating Kohlberger.
Oh
Okay.
God, yeah. I would
Okay.
not want to be on that jury because the things that they're gonna see. Oh,
Well, it's not even about that. It's
I
about the way they want him to present himself.
what? They want him to act like a normal
They
person?
want to sit there like don't move, don't.
He's never moved. Anytime I've ever seen him sitting at a table with the attorneys, he acts like he's scared to look at him, except for Ann Taylor, because every
Yeah.
time she
Oh,
stands up,
oh.
I can't figure out if he likes her the way he looks at her, or if he's looking at her like, bitch, you better not stand up and say something wrong. I can't figure
That's what I can't figure out.
which
There's
one it
no
is,
I
telling.
think he's in love with her.
because the thing is, though, when
My honest,
it's very creepy how he looks at her.
Vapor's in
yes.
love with her.
In my
Vapor,
honest opinion, I
Vapor's
think
got it
he's both.
bad for Ann Taylor.
I think Brian Koberger's both. I think he's looking at her because he's in love with her, and he's looking at her like, "You better get me off of this."
Like, yeah, because he just has that creepy stare. But I've noticed that he doesn't do that with uh, what's her
None.
name,
Yeah,
the massive woman.
yeah.
He didn't do that
I
with her.
I believe that from his blank stares, I believe he's sociopath.
He is
I don't think
so.
he's I don't think he's a psychopath. I think he's a sociopath.
I think he's both.
Why in this? What the? Mm-mm. Hold on. Why is this working? No, no, give me a second.
Have
But
you guys ever had your eyeball just start twitching?
yeah,
Yes,
What does that?
your
it's just
nerves.
a nerve.
My right eye is just doing something weird.
Rub it for a few minutes, it'll stop.
I had them damn eye floaters last night when I got out the lab and went to the shower,
Ooh,
and there was in my left eye, and it was bugging the fuck out of me. And I just knew this morning when I woke up I was gonna have a damn headache. And sure enough, woke up
you
this morning
did?
with the flipping headache. Yep.
Oh man.
But I mean, I took something for it and it went away. But yeah.
Oh, I panic now with Jaden because he loses his vision before 30 minutes before the headache. He loses his vision. I
Yeah.
am like I can't like the whole time I'm working. I have to like either keep having him on my video call or have a neighbor coming over here. I mean, like
Well,
I
yeah,
have
'cause
I have such bad anxiety because I keep thinking, like he loses his vision. How is he going to call me?
Yeah.
right.
Or call like. And I've been wondering if he'll be able to drive. I guess he will, but like, like, is that going to be an issue with his license or?
It might be.
But I mean, you don't ever know. It may go away and it not happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I hope so. The poor kid's been through enough.
Courtney, you talking about the little eye floater things?
Now, I've never had eye floaters.
Oh, it is irritating. Well, I think what caused it yesterday is because I was sitting at the computer all day yesterday,
Yep. That'll cause it.
and so when I got done with the live last night, went to take a shower. Sometimes it happens in both eyes. Last night it was just in my left eye, and it was like a long line that was blurry. And no
Yeah.
matter how much I rubbed my eye, that bitch would not go away. Courtney says she gets them too,
I
and
do.
I just knew it wasn't going to be a migraine because if I'm going to get a migraine, it will be like I will see like blue dots,
Mm.
and then I know that the next morning when I wake up, I'm going to have a migraine. But this morning, that bitch was pounding.
You need to keep something green near you. like on your desk, or a lot of people put the green mat under their desk chairs, and then like every so often from looking at the computer screen,
Mhm.
you're supposed to like look down at the green mat or look at something green, and it's supposed to um it does something where it like resets,
Well,
the
they
screen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, your
Which
um
on my screens, on both of my screens, I
well they
have
also wear
the
like
blue light turned off.
they say
yeah.
they they have glasses for blue light
Hmm.
when you're staring at a computer or a phone.
Yeah, it gets rid of the blue
It's
light.
like type of lens
Mhm.
that it's
Yep.
supposed
I
to help
which
with.
I have the blue. I have both of my monitors have the blue light turned off.
Yeah,
So, but it's just I think because of all the stress I've been under lately, uh,
probably.
Mhm.
Yeah.
getting no sleep, not eating right. Um,
You definitely don't eat right.
now I really don't.
But you know
I,
what? It's been so hot. I haven't been eating either. It's so hot that you just don't even
well,
you
I
don't
mean,
even want
Yeah,
to
you don't
eat.
even want.
from not eating right, not sleeping enough, because I may go 2 or 3 days without sleeping, and
Mm,
then sitting at the computer all day reading because that's all we do when we're looking into these
yeah.
cases is read. Uh, yeah, constantly
I
staring
know.
at a screen. That's what
Yeah,
did it yesterday, plus the stress and everything else. So,
I notice if I stare at my phone too long,
hmm,
or like stare at my phone and then look at my TV or go back to my phone, I get dizzy.
Hmm.
yeah,
Like I
But
get dizzy.
seriously, Scarlett, Google that and get you something green. I like it could even just be like a deep green teddy bear, just anything green that you can sit on your
okay,
desk. And Google it because I don't remember how long you're supposed to, glance over
uh,
at the green.
okay. Well, I can't get no teddy bear because y'all know how I am about dolls.
Care
Okay,
Well,
Bear.
anything. I mean, just anything green.
Get your green Care Bear.
I'll find me something green. If I'll look it up though and see what like if it has to be like whatever certain color green or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, we ain't getting no dolls, no bear. We ain't doing all that. Nothing with nothing stuff that has eyes. Not happening.
Well, you can take the eyes out.
No, because then I'm thinking bad juju at that point because I done plucked this thing's eyes out. And it's whatever is inside of it's gonna no.
I had actually learned that years ago when I was working on base. I was civil service, and we were on the computer. I mean, this was like almost 30 years ago. We'd be on the
Damn, you were
computer.
old.
I am I am not old. But yeah, that's where I learned. That's where I learned about that because we'd be on the computers for so long, and but yeah, it might help you. It might.
Gigi, I wish I would have won $1 million. I
Wish I
wouldn't be
could
sitting.
$1.
Scarlett wouldn't be sitting right here. She'd have won $1 million.
Wish
No,
I
you know
could
what? I
win.
take that back. If I would have won $1 million, I would have still sit here and hang out with y'all. I
If
may
I
not
won a
be in.
million dollars, I'd put it in the bank and nobody'd know about it.
I may not be in Louisiana sitting here talking to y'all. I may be on a beach somewhere, but I'd still be sitting here hanging out with y'all. Between Gigi and Avery, man, y'all gonna try to figure it out, ain't y'all?
I've still been thinking about it.
All she's thinking about is that damn dream she had, being like, "Yep, that's what it was right there."
You know what? If that turned out to be like what it really was, then
That would be creepy as fuck, wouldn't it?
it would. I would be wondering if I had some kind of like powers.
Get a neon sign that says "Good vibes" surrounded by green foliage.
Do
That's
not do
like
that.
no, that's what the girls had in their house.
Who said that? Vapor?
Yeah, I do have a
I
sign,
know that
or
was vapor. How
I
did
do
I
have a
know?
wooden sign. That's the magical powers you got. I do have a wooden sign though. That's like um, that says "Good Vibes" on it that I have hanging up in my room. It's like a antique looking farmhouse type sign. Y'all know what I'm talking about? It's all
Yeah,
wood. Yeah, I've got one of
yeah,
those in my room. Okay, I gotta find where I left off.
yeah. I messed you up asking questions.
No, 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 no. You're fine. It's because I did not mark my place. That's what it was. Okay, so we talked about Brooks and Nick's vehicles being saw on camera. July the 9th, Detective Snow called Nick. Okay, so we talked about that, about the trunk. Let's see. Several days later, authorities searched the Houck family farm, but they didn't find anything. Then Brooks asked, about how he can clear his name, so we talked about that. Uh, okay, so Detective Snow also testifies that there is no sign, or that there has been no sign of Crystal's existence since the night of July the 3rd, 2015. He said that the IRS even tried tracking her social security number, and there's
And
still no
there's
signs.
no nothing.
Nothing. Vapor, no. She hasn't answered me in Discord either. So she probably went to sleep, which is completely fine because, like I said, I know she hasn't been sleeping good. Um, she's been hurting and everything. So if she's asleep, that's fine. But yeah,
'Cause
so if
I don't
she's,
see Crystal leaving her babies anyhow. Her children. She just,
No, I don't. I
I
don't
don't think
think
she
she'd
would
do that.
either. But see, they were talking about how they had gotten these tips in saying she's working at what was it, a Waffle House in whatever state, and she was working
yeah,
at a nursing home. Well, if you're working at a restaurant like that, you're getting a check.
yeah,
It's going to be ran through with your social on it.
yeah.
And so the IRS couldn't find anything regarding her social security number. So the prosecution asked, why were you focused on July the 3rd into July the 4th? Hold on. You already read this. Okay, so Brooks says he goes to the house with her, but we can never verify. Wait a minute, I fucked my notes up, y'all. Oh, never mind. Okay, so they had asked Detective Snow that. Why were they focused on July 3rd and July 4th? Because Brooks had said that he had went to the house with her, but they could never verify that verify that, and no one ever saw her past that day of July the 3rd, because she was seen at Walmart by two different people. They found the receipt in her purse for July the 3rd, checking out at like 4:30. They just could never verify that she left that farm. Okay, so then they go on lunch break, but prior to the lunch break, the defense starts their cross on Detective Snow. Um, Detective Snow confirmed that after 4 years of investigation, there had been no arrests or any evidence discovered in the case. We had no information of the method of death, Snow said to the defense attorney. The defense also showed text messages between Steve Lawson's son in law and Brooks, in which they were looking for a house in August of 2015. He argued that Steve Lawson's stepdaughter was the one looking for a house when he called Brooks on July 3rd. The defense also said that detectives had received a tip from a couple who said that they had saw Crystal on July the 5th, 2015, in a red sedan on Highway 49. They said that she looked distraught and upset. They were never able to verify that either. All right. See, after they come back from lunch, Detective Snow is still on cross. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to ruffle the papers on the mic. I'm just trying to get through my notes. The defense pointed to Brooks' phone records, which showed that he tried calling Crystal twice on July the 4th, once on July the 5th. Detective Snow said that it appeared that those calls went to voicemail. Brooks then texted Barbara Roby, who was one of Crystal's relatives, and a former Bardstown police officer, asking if she had been able to reach Crystal, and she said that she had not heard from her. Brooks then asked for another relative's phone number, which is Sabrina Ballard, to again try to locate Crystal, but no luck. Apparently, the Sabrina Ballard lady, this is Crystal's cousin, when Crystal would get upset and need to get away, whether they were arguing or whatever, she would always go to Sabrina's house. Apparently, he sent her a text that says, "Everyone is worried sick. Please call me back." Brooks texts Crystal after being unable to contact her, according to the screenshot shown in the court. The defense attorney says that Brooks wasn't worried at first when Crystal went missing because she had left before, to which Snow said that that would happen if they were fighting, which is then when she would go to the cousin's house. But if you remember, though, Brooks never said anything about them fighting. They just came home from the family farm.
Yeah, they just had their romantic
Yeah,
night, and he went to bed, and he was just
she,
gone in the morning.
yeah, that she was on her phone playing games when he went to bed, and when he got up the next morning, she was gone. Well, why would she just be gone if y'all wasn't
Hmm.
fighting? And that's why I think Detective Snow kind of threw that little jab in there. It was like, yeah, that would happen if they were fighting. So
Yep.
what's the excuse of why she was gone that morning? He didn't say anything about them fighting. Okay, so the defense then shows more screenshots of text messages between Brooks and Crystal on April the 25th, 2015. In that April 25th, 2015 message, Crystal accuses Brooks of not treating her right and he tells her that leaving home with nowhere to go isn't safe. Running from your problems won't fix them. He sounds like a real ass, don't he?
Oh yeah,
After,
I could tell by his interview, that the interrogation
hmm
that you were playing yesterday, that he is one cocky type of man.
yeah, me and him, we wouldn't get
Oof.
along long enough for the water to get hot.
Right.
I can tell
Same
you.
here.
Because the first time he ever raised his voice at me or got up in my face like he was doing that officer,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, okay, so after Detective Snow stepped down from the stand, Judge Sims asked the jury if they had any questions, which they did. Jurors wanted to know if the clothes that Crystal had on in the Walmart surveillance video was ever found inside of her home. Detective Snow says no, they were not. So apparently she still had the same clothes on when they went to the family farm that she had on when she was at Walmart. Jury also wanted to know if Brooks left voicemails for Crystal when she didn't pick up the phone after her disappearance. Snow says that investigators don't believe he did. So if you're trying to call her, which they see on the phone records that he did call, and you're actually worried about her, why would you not leave a voicemail? Hey, call me back. We're worried. Where you at? Something. He just made those phone calls to make it look like he was concerned that she wasn't home. The jury then heard from several business owners and witnesses who denied seeing Brooks on July the 3rd. Even though that he claimed to have met with them on that day, many said that they were closed due to the holiday weekend. One witness was the owner of a Radio Shack in Bardstown, Marcella Ray, who sold Brooks an audio recorder on July the 6th, 2015, which was the one that he had in when he wrote out his statement. She said that Brooks specifically wanted to buy the best that he could. Ray said that she printed out a photo of Brooks holding the recorder and the child because it stood out to her. She testified that every time the son would lift his head, Brooks would tell him to put it down. She held onto the records and receipts until 2020 when she contacted the FBI. One of the bigger moments in Thursday's testimony came when a realtor named Richie Riggs, who worked often with Brooks to sell homes, took the stand. Yeah, I need to turn my damn light on because I cannot see this shit good. So when Riggs was on the stand, given his testimony. He said that he ran into Crystal about a week before she disappeared, and she had accused Brooks of cheating on her. Immediately following that statement, the attorney spoke with the judge, so they had a sidebar. Who told the jury that then the judge then told the jury that that evidence could not be considered that statement could not be considered evidence. It was considered hearsay. Riggs then said that Crystal was worried about Brooks kicking her out of the house. Danny Singleton was the last witness to take the stand. Danny is the guy that their mom, Rosemary, reached out to about finding somebody to get rid of Crystal. So during the opening statements, the prosecution claimed that Brooks' mom, Rosemary, spoke with Singleton 2 weeks prior to Crystal's disappearance. And Singleton admitted to having a conversation with Rosemary at a job site. He said that she wanted to find someone to get rid of Crystal. I told her around this town and with money you can get anything done. He testified, adding that he didn't tell Brooks about the conversation. It's the truth that she wanted someone to do that, not for me to do it, is what he said on the stand today. And that is basically, at that point, they court adjourned for the day. They'll be back in the morning. So I don't know what all else Lawyer Lee had to say. That's what I was wanting Sally Mae to come up and talk about tonight, but maybe she can tomorrow night go over it, or I'll watch tomorrow and see what Lawyer Lee says. I need to find, hold on just a second. So I do need to get that video. Yeah, she hit that laugh just in time.
Huh?
I said she did that laugh just in time.
She does that.
Okay, let's see. Hold on, what am I looking at here? Okay, just making sure. Look at my video at. Okay, so do y'all want to? Because I've been on here for an hour and 42 minutes. Do y'all want to watch a little bit more of the Brooks House interview?
That's up to you.
I do.
Okay, that baby just straight up said no, y'all, when I asked that. Jamie, how are you?
I heard her.
Jamie, yes, her Crystal's dad was also murdered 16 months after she disappeared. You know, she is just on cue tonight, ain't she?
Yeah.
All right, so
She's on something.
Oh, she's not hurt anything.
Did you see the picture in Discord with her playing with her duck?
Oh yeah, I saw it. I think I loved it.
Yeah, you did. The sprinkler.
Yes.
It's a sprinkler.
Well, they need to buy that baby a damn pump. What they need to do.
I know.
Okay.
But we won't discuss that.
Well,
all right, I'm on mute.
okay, I gotta get the ticker down so it's not cutting anything off. And if y'all see me doing this little thing down here at the bottom and all that shit, don't pay me no attention. That's just because I'm moving my mouse around looking for something. All right. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it. What the fuck? Okay, here we go.
We kind of already established the college.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Just so I'm clear on it.
Okay.
You got home at somewhere between 5 and 5:30, probably closer to 5, right?
Yes, sir.
And Kylie was there?
I didn't go in the house at that
Oh,
time.
you didn't? Okay.
No, I knew that whenever she was coming behind me, I knew that she was going to be there shortly. So what I did was I jumped on that little tractor. I knew I had a little bit of time, and I wanted to go up there and fill it up full of fuel, check, do all that kind of stuff, get my fuel levels right, so that I didn't have to stop. I've got, as you can tell when you look at that list, I got so much stuff to do. I don't have any unaccounted for time. I'm wide open.
Right.
If I stop for a few minutes, I go backwards, and I don't have time to do that.
So just so you didn't go inside, so you don't know if she was there when you
I
arrived.
don't know if she was there, she was riding with Crystal, I do not
Right.
know.
And when you got back from gassing up the tractor, they were all there. Her and Eli and Crystal.
All four, yes.
Yeah, okay. And so all four of you were there. So during that time, the neighbor said she got home around 5:15, give or take. You know.
That's right.
So from 5:15, and I think I mentioned to you that I see on the video that you all go past Circle K. You go past the storage place and Circle K all within a minute or so, about 5 minutes after 7, thereabouts, give or take a minute.
All right.
So let's say you left the house around 7 o'clock. Fair enough.
That's fine.
There's going to be a little bit of time, but I'm just generalizing. So she gets home about 5:15. You get back from the store. You all are there from, let's say, 5:30 to 7 o'clock together, the four of you. You eat dinner at home, I think you told me last time.
Yeah, we didn't fix nothing. I don't know what we ate. We didn't fix nothing fancy.
Right. Sandwiches.
Whatever we did.
You guys leave to go to the farm, but Kylie does not go with you.
That's correct.
She stays there waiting on
Her
Kathy.
Mamaw Kathy, her father's mother.
Yeah, Kathy Fenwick.
Yes.
Right. So she stays there. You don't know what time she gets picked up, but she's there when you all leave.
Yes.
Because that was one of the things, I think she got confused, Kylie, not Kathy. Kylie got confused about the time frames when I was talking.
But I can't speak on their.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not confused.
All right. That's fine. What you said is my understanding of it.
So you guys leave, you go, presumably you go out Bloomfield Road to Guthrie because you go past Circle K and not turn on Woodlawn Road. So you go out there, and then the next time I see you is when you pass Caddy Shack, the little restaurant there on 49. You go past there, and it's about the right amount of time for you to be traveling, you know. And then you get to the farm around, best I can figure out by the time frame on the video, is about 19 minutes after 7. So you're actually there, you know, roughly about 7:20. So
Okay.
so you get there. By the way, I twisted I guess it would be your aunt's arm to. So we noticed they had the video cameras. That's why.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
So she actually helped you out with the time.
Good.
It showed you coming. Now I haven't watched the full days yet, so I don't know anything about comings and goings. But I know you got there about 20 minutes after, and you left there about 11:55 thereabouts.
Right.
So during that time, from reading your statement, you left once and went down almost to Loretta Road and then turned around and came back because you decided the Tractor Supply might be closed, right?
Yes.
So that, you know, a little bit of time there. How long were you at the farm before you went to get feed and then came back, decided that it was too late? Do you remember roundabout?
It couldn't have been long.
Because you were going to feed the cows, right?
Yeah, it could have been probably more than, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay. I'm just trying to get an idea so when I watch the video, you know, I can kind of look for when you're coming out and then you're going back.
Yes.
And when you got to the farm, do you know if anybody was there other than your mom?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you see your mom when you came in?
No, we didn't. We didn't stop up there. We went straight down there we were going there to feed the cows.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, but the barn's within eyeshot of the house.
But sometimes she might park inside. Sometimes she might not. So I don't know if.
Right. She got more than one vehicle.
She's got a little red truck, and she's got a white, and then she's got a white SUV.
Okay.
But I can't. That 15 to 20 minutes is as close as I can, and that's a guess, but I'd say it's pretty accurate.
I think your mom told me she had been mowing grass. Do you know if she was mowing when you got there, or
she's always outside doing stuff? She's more of an outside person than inside, but she likes to mow grass. Sometimes she'll mow it whenever it don't even need to be mowed. So, but no, I don't recall her mowing. If she was mowing, but you know, there's a lot of area there that if she was mowing, that I could have pulled in and not seen her, but I don't believe she was mowing.
Yeah. Okay. And it's not all that important. I'm just trying to get an idea of what was going on.
All right.
So there, I noticed when I was out there, yesterday, I guess it was. So there's a bulldozer in the drive.
Mhm.
There's a tractor, actually two tractors in the barn, right? There's a tractor with a bucket and a
Yes.
tractor that looked like maybe it was leaking hydraulic fluid. Maybe somebody.
Or
had
an
worked on it
attachment,
something.
or, yeah.
Yeah, maybe an attachment.
All right.
So while you were out there Friday, did you operate any of that equipment to take care of the cows, or how do you normally?
No, I don't.
By hand?
Mhm. No, when you feed the cows, you just get the sweet feed and you holler for them, you shake a bucket, and they, because repetitious, they know to
Sure.
run, they know.
I didn't know if you fed it hay.
Now, if you're talking about in the wintertime, you have to have a tractor that can handle, we don't do square hay. I mean, in the wintertime, we're gonna have to handle a round bale.
Right.
And that's done by tractor. We're not gonna, you can roll one by hand, you got 4 or 5 guys, but I mean, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna take a tractor and.
Right, but I'm talking about Friday, you didn't
No,
operate anything
no.
Friday. Okay. So you just fed them out of the bucket, the sweet
Yes.
feed. And,
Now,
so,
Aaron probably, he's out there raking hay and stuff. He might very well have done that. I don't know if it was Friday, but he's been out there the past 2 weeks doing hay. And I don't drive the equipment because that's not what I do. Aaron takes care of all that, and he bales the hay, he cuts it, he does all the mechanical work out there, and
now who is Aaron?
the person that does all the work out there.
But I mean, is he related to you all, or is he a farmhand, or what is he?
Yeah, he's the city mechanic right up here for the city of Bardstown, the bus garage. He does all the mechanics and does all the inspection reports for the city of Bardstown bus school system.
Right, but how is he connected to your family?
There's no blood relation. We graduated together in high school.
You and he did?
Yes.
Okay, and
And
so
then
does he get the hay off of your farm, or?
5 of the cows out there that are out there are his.
Oh, okay.
So what he does is, whenever you look at this paperwork, I've got so much stuff going on. I'm not a farmer. I enjoy farming, but I don't farm. So what he does is an added benefit to me. He takes care of all the fencing, all the labor, keeps the equipment running. If it's round bales or busting ice and stuff like that in the wintertime, he does all that. He's got the time. He gets off early at 3 o'clock in the day. So he will come out there and he knows about the mechanics. I'm not a mechanic. So he'll go out there and cut all the hay and prepare for the winter.
Gotcha.
He uses his time to do all that, to use the grounds out there for his cows, because he's only got about 7 acres here in town, and he wants to keep growing and expanding. And a way to do that, I don't have time to bush hog and all that, so I would rather keep up with the grounds by letting somebody do that and participate and let them. I don't charge him no money.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
So
But he keeps his cows out.
yes, it's a good trade-off.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay. But he wasn't there Friday, that you saw.
No, he wasn't there Friday night.
When you were there, right?
Mhm.
Not before. I don't know
Yeah.
about before, but when you were there, he wasn't there. So you all fed the cows with the buckets, and watched them eat, and then you walked. Now, when you said you walked the road to the grab, you're talking about not just to the turnaround that goes right by the barn.
We walked to the back.
To where the old county road goes through.
Where I put yes, exactly. Where the road gets a little harder. I mean, you can still drive a car on it, but there's a little bit of grass in the middle. But
Right.
we.
And that's what goes when you get to the
cul-de-sac at the top of the hill.
right. If you get to the turnaround here, this
The house is right here in the barn here.
there. It goes
Right here is where, yes, and it goes back there far. And there's 3 big pens back through there. There's 3 separate fields where we rotate the pasture and stuff.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you walked from field 1.
Yeah, let me just make it real clear for you. You can put this in your paperwork or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I didn't write that, but.
No, I drew it out for somebody else.
This is the barn. And then, of course, the fence does something like this.
Right. Kind of gives an angle off Mom's place.
And then it goes all the way back. So somewhere right in here, this is a double. gate. This is where we go in right here, is
Right.
where we enter the field, because this is barbed wire, you know. And then over here is kind of an octagon's 8, but it ain't 8. This is like a pin out here that we can move, and then there's some troughs and stuff in here. And then I think right here, that field separates pretty, and then there's a gate, another gate right here. So this is number 1, and then way up here, this is number 2, and then number 3 goes a far piece back through there. So we go through this gate, and then the gate from 2 to 3, you know, the other gate's up here.
Right.
You know what I'm?
Yeah.
And then there's more food in field number 3 than there are on these other 2, because these 2 are 8 down close. So a lot of times, and it's cooler back there in them ravines and hollers for the cows than if they're on this. And they would rather stay cooler and eat back there. And there ain't a big pond back there, but there's a little pond for them for a water supply too right now. So more often than not, they go back there in that third field, but like in later in the evening, a lot of times we're consistent at the times, and sometimes we're not, but a lot of times in the evening they'll drift up here thinking they're going to get some feed.
Right. For the sweet feed. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you all, when you all went for the cows, though, I think.
Yeah, we went in this gate right here, and then we walked all the way back through there.
So because they weren't up in field 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, so you fed the cows. What else did I read there? Sorry. Make sure. I'm doing all kinds of crazy stuff over there. You fed the cows, and then you come back out and you walked the road, right? The road that goes to.
Yeah, after we come back out from walking through here, then we walk out to here, there's another. Did I see your pin again? So there's another. It ain't exactly straight, but it looks something like this.
That's the driveway.
Yeah, this driveway to the barn.
Right.
And then we walk out the road, and we just walk back through there.
Okay. And how long would you say that road goes back into there? Do you know? If you had to guess.
I don't know. I bet it's a good mile.
From the barn to the end of that road and back. So a couple mile walk going to and from.
Yeah, if you go, because there's a cul-de-sac right here. There's also a cul-de-sac I put in up here, and then there's a third cul-de-sac at the very end, back creek back there in the very back.
Oh, okay. Okay. But you think it's about a mile, maybe?
I would say close, yeah.
So you walked to the end of there and came back. Did y'all do any work on the barn or anything while you were there?
No, we didn't do no work on that barn.
Didn't work on the driveway or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
The dozer, the reason I ask is because the dozer that's sitting there, did somebody use that to put that driveway in or put rock on that driveway recently, or?
No, on Saturday, I moved it over there. It was parked. That dozer, I've got a skid steer also broke down.
Right.
I've got a skid steer right here with some weeds growing up around it.
Yeah.
And then I had a dozer. The dozer right here,
Mm-hmm.
and I did, I backed it right across here, right here, and there's been a water coming in the front. There's a big door right here in the front of the barn,
Mm-hmm.
and water had been going in the front of it right here. And then I moved, and I wanted to. She's always complaining about, my mother
Mm-hmm.
is always complaining about the trash and rubble. She likes to keep everything neat and clean. She likes to keep the grass mowed short. But I'm not going to pay a high bill to take that stuff to the county dump when I can clean it up easy. It's too much to do all at once, but every time I come out there, I can throw a match on it or burn a little pile. Eli likes to roast marshmallows. So what I do, and we spend so much time out there, what I do is put a pile and I'll light a little piece of it on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way I don't have a huge fire, but I've got enough that I'm constantly getting rid of some, and then they won't charge me that high density fee out there at the dump. So I'm going to take all this equipment, this skid steer too. I just hadn't drug it over there yet, and then all these trailers with them weeds are high. I'm going to try to get it on both sides of these doors, just to get it out of there.
Did you burn anything Friday night when you were out there?
Yeah, yes, it's not uncomfortable. I don't want the stuff piling up to the moon. I always light a fire. There was a little pile, probably, I'll write that on there. Right here with this little pile here. I think y'all may have covered it up. Y'all got out there.
I think we did.
Slung stuff everywhere, but
yeah, I apologize. That
it don't matter.
Well, the dog, that lady's dog, she said acted like there was something under there.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So I had a water problem right there, and I'm in the process of getting that right there fixed. We dug out right there in front of that door to try to let a vein of water come out because it's too low. The slab is.
And that was Saturday?
That was Saturday when I did that.
Do you remember what time Saturday you got out there?
Mm-hmm.
Was you before lunch, after lunch?
Oh yeah, it was well before lunch. It wasn't. It was morning time, but it wasn't early morning. It wasn't late morning. It was about mid morning.
So you had a little fire. When was that? After you took your walk or before you took your walk?
I lit it. I don't know if I lit it right before we took off walking. I know we fed the cows first because I want to do that as quickly while we had still plenty of daylight. I don't know if I lit the fire before we walked back here or right when I got back. I could have done it either one. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. So you lit the fire. I'm assuming then you probably don't leave until the fire burns out. Would you leave it burning? I don't know. I generally don't like to walk.
Yeah, but if it's just a bed of coals,
it's not like burning.
I wouldn't leave if I thought there was any danger. Not when, especially when I got all this equipment and stuff right there. But I mean, if it's died down and it's just a big bed of coals, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
So especially if it's not in August or September when everything's just perfectly dry. It wasn't.
We had plenty of rain.
Yeah, and the ground's wet and dew's on. Yeah, it's not a big deal. To me, I'm not a firefighter, so.
But you definitely moved the dozer on Saturday.
Yeah, I moved the dozer on Saturday.
Is there a septic system with that barn?
There is.
Okay.
It's never been hooked up. There's never been a toilet put on there. But I tell you who put it in there. And he can tell you exactly how 100% it was done. Is Casey Ballard.
Casey Ballard did.
Mm-hmm.
And Casey Ballard, is that her?
That's her brother.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So he put the septic. Is there like an opening somewhere where you can access it?
Oh yeah.
Maintenance and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Where would that be?
There's a big pole out in the middle of this in field number 1 right here.
Uh-huh.
There's a great big pole like this right here.
Uh-huh.
That marks the end of it. It's got one big lateral, big pipe on it, and it's marked out there so somebody don't crush it with a tractor.
So the opening for the top of the septic tank?
No, the top,
You're talking about the lateral line?
Yeah, that just daylights out.
Right.
There's a big, underneath that, right where this fence is right there,
Uh-huh.
there's a big round lid right here.
Okay. Next to fence for field 1.
Mm-hmm.
And how long has that septic system been there? I noticed the work
Probably
kind of ongoing.
Probably about 3 years,
3 years.
3 years. I just never did finish that barn, because I've had so much other stuff going on. But in that barn, I've kind of got a little a little.
Yeah, I saw where you were putting the cedar plank.
I never got done with it, but I'm close to getting it done. I just never made it that far.
Right.
But yeah, right where that little plumbing, that little bathroom is, right on the outside of the barn, there's a big a septic tank right there, and then there's a great big long piece of pipe right here, a bleeder valve, and then it's marked by, there's a big pipe, there's an iron T-post out in the middle of this field, and then I took a piece of PVC pipe that's weather resistant, and I just slid over top. It would stop the post from rusting, and it's also much taller than the grass, so that if the grass did get up real high, somebody wouldn't hit it with a bush hog, or wouldn't hit it with a mower or something like that.
All right, so you guys you've taken your walk. The fire is down, maybe not out, but it's down enough, and you're leaving. And it looks, again, looking at the video, looks like it's about 5 minutes till midnight.
All right.
That's to me, and I've got a couple of kids, but everybody parents a little differently. To me, it seems a little late to be out on the farm with a 2.5-year-old. Where is he at midnight? Has he been asleep in the car for a while? Is he still
he's still wide open, and he'll
really?
And any night he's so used to sleeping so later in the morning. His normal day, that's his 7, 8 o'clock in the evening.
Really?
11, because she sleeps much later in the morning. She stays up. So and it's always been that way.
So he's
like
good to
people
go
do.
at midnight.
He's wide open.
Okay. So you guys get back and load up in the truck. Load up in the truck, and you drive back. You leave out. I see you leave out the driveway at about 11:55. Somebody passes you on the drive back on Loretta Road about 10 minutes after midnight or so. He says, roughly, we're still kind of narrowing that down, but roughly sees you about 10 after midnight, which wouldn't be uncommon. It's been raining most of the day. The roads are kind of wet. 15 minutes from your mom's house to the golf course. There's Caddyshack. Not a big deal there. And so do you remember, or did you go straight home on Friday night, or did y'all stop somewhere? Or, because I'm thinking if that's their normal 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, it might be dinner time. Did you stop and eat something, or did you go straight home?
We did not eat anything. I went straight home.
Okay. So you went straight home. So if we assume that he's correct in about 10 minutes after midnight, another 10 minutes to the house or so. So
I don't see it being that late. I mean, if that's what some of them things say, I guess you'd have to kind of go by that. But yeah, we didn't stop anywhere. We went straight home.
Okay. So you could feasibly be home by 11:30. You can be home.
I feel like it.
Which is what you told me. You thought, or I'm sorry, not 11:30, 12:30. You could feasibly be home by 20 minutes after 12. If he passes you at 10 minutes after 12.
All right.
Which is a little off from what you originally told me. And you just said, I still think it's a little off, but we'll go with what the camera says as opposed to memory, because sometimes memory is not that great.
All right.
And I checked the time on her camera, and I'm allowing for about a 9-minute gap there between what my watch says and what her camera says.
All right.
So, which puts you leaving there about 11:55, which, again, 15 minutes to Caddyshack is not terribly bad in the rain. So it could have been that he passed you at 10 minutes after midnight, putting you home roughly 20 minutes after 12.
All right.
Fair enough?
Yes.
So you guys get home 20 minutes after 12, right there, thereabouts. I think you said you went to bed first. Do you remember about how long you were home before you went to bed?
I went to bed immediately.
So when you guys got in, you went and did your nightly routine, and you're going to bed. I think you told me that she stayed up, and Eli, did he stay up as well?
He was.
And where was she at?
If there's any activity going on in the house, he doesn't want to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody turn the lights out and we just go out into bed, he's going to follow us in there and lay down with us. But if I go to bed and she stays up, he's not going to come in there to bed till all the lights are out and then she goes to bed. If I was doing something out there and she was in the bed, he's going to stay up with me until the lights are out until I go in there. Do you see what I'm?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's what.
So he's going to stay up with Mom. Right. So, and before you went to bed, or as any conversation, I know you told me that you all had a conversation Friday evening sometime about the kids. We'll talk about that in a minute, but You said you all talked about the kids Friday evening. Does that conversation bleed over to when you get home, or is that conversation done?
No, whenever I got home, I went to bed. I mean, it was relatively, quickly when I got in there. The conversation does not bleed over.
Okay. So you go to bed, she stays up. What's she doing?
She's just on her phone, playing. I don't know what game, but she normally plays a game.
Right.
Some kind. She's got several of them on there, but I don't know which one.
Okay. So she's on her phone, messing around, doing whatever, and you go to bed. Do you know what time Eli came to bed, or she put him into bed?
I don't know. I
Don't
don't
have
have
any
any idea.
idea.
I normally go to bed earlier than that, so when I went to sleep, I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. I wouldn't have noticed, if he crawled in there,
So you said you're a pretty heavy sleeper. So your phone is getting phone calls. I can see it on your phone logs before 7:00 in the morning on Saturday morning. Do you hear that going off? Do you normally keep it in there?
Yeah, but I don't have to. At that time, I've got an alarms on my phone at 6:00 and 7:00. Sometimes I've got them at 4 and at 7. But my alarm most mornings goes off. I always have it for 6 and 7. But I'll wake up before my alarm goes off. But yeah, it's not uncommon for me to get calls really early in the morning.
So what time do you think you got up on Saturday morning?
I probably woke up around, in between that time, like 6 or 7:00, and then I left. Did my normal thing, changed my clothes, put my clothes on, and headed out. Shortly after that,
Well, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you something. There, on the phone records, there appears to be a phone call around midnight.
All right.
On Friday night, Saturday morning.
All right.
I'm talking about on your way home, basically.
All right.
Do you know who that person was that called you around midnight? Do you remember taking a phone call?
Can you just call the number back? I don't.
I mean, I could. I could.
What's
I
the
could
phone
look at
number?
the phone.
Yeah, look at my phone, but I don't remember
You
that.
don't remember getting a phone call on the way home?
Mhm.
Would it be unusual for you to get a phone call at midnight? I mean, it is for me, and I work for the sheriff's office. I get calls quite regularly.
Some of the people that do the tile for me, I wouldn't put it past them to call me at any time. They lay brick through the day, and then they're tiling my houses at night. The Thomases I wrote on there, Derek and his brother Tyler Thomas, they'll call me at any time. And I've got even if it's just one day, I don't pay them people by the job. They got to get paid by the hour, and then when they get done with it, I pay them.
Right.
That's just what we've agreed on. But yeah, those folks there call me any hour.
It was a pretty short phone conversation is the only reason I asked it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of unusual to get a 13-second phone conversation at midnight. It is for me. It may not be for you. But,
all right. Well, just check it out. Yeah, check it out in detail. That's right.
So Saturday morning, you wake up sometime between 6 and 7. I think we decided that Danny Singleton, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
A guy that works for you, was calling you. He called you pretty frequently. You said sometimes you give him incentives to work on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And that may have been why he was calling you. So did you go do some work Saturday morning before you went to your mom's house? Before you went to the farm? Or what did you do Saturday morning?
No, I didn't. I didn't do any other work on Saturday morning. That's where I went out there to the farm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what time I got out there, but that's what I had done.
Mm-hmm. So you get up between 6 and 7, and where's Eli at when you wake up?
He's next to me.
He's in the bed with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you get up. Does he get up with you?
He's still asleep whenever I get up, but I go to the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, and he's still sleeping there on the bed.
And so when you wake up, he's there, but Crystal's not.
She's not.
Okay. And so did you try to call her or?
Yes, I noticed that she wasn't there, and I didn't know what was I didn't know exactly what to think. I don't know what time I called her. Yes, I called her that morning.
I mean, did you call her before you left the house to go to the
I don't
farm?
remember what time I don't remember what time I called her.
But do you remember where you were at? Were you at home or were you at the farm? Or you were on the way to the farm? I don't know, somewhere in between.
I don't recall. I don't know.
That's fair enough. So you, before you go to the farm, you feed Eli breakfast?
I did not before we got there. I normally get those squeezable yogurts, all them vitamins and minerals and stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to eat stuff like that for breakfast, and it's easy. He can do that in his car seat or whatever he's got to do.
Okay. So he was eating on the way to the farm?
I don't think he was. I know he was.
Okay.
Now, how much of the yogurt he ate, I don't know.
I'm not worried about that. It's not a question of what he ate or how much he ate. I'm just trying to establish.
Well, he's a healthy boy. I can tell
pattern
you.
of behavior from that weekend, you know. And here's why. I'll be honest with you. I have been all along. Will continue to be. If I woke up on a Saturday morning and my wife wasn't with me in the bed, as is normal, which might not be normal for you, I don't know, but for me, it would be normal, particularly if my wife's a late sleeper, which mine is as well on Saturdays, for her to be there in the bed when I get up. So if she were not, probably the first thing I would do would be to call her to find out where she was.
But what you're not aware, what you're missing is a lot of times that her and Brooke, her sister, or Sabrina, a lot of these girls that they do all these, they go out and do stuff. Sometimes they do these, this is going to be embarrassing for me to talk to you about, but I'm wanting to get everything cleared up as quickly as I can. They do these fantasy parties.
Mm-hmm.
All these girls get together. They talk about and do whatever. And it's not uncommon for them, when they go out and party, they stay out the better part of the night,
Mm-hmm.
if not the whole night. So, and of course, I always have the children, you know, during that. They don't take the kids to that. Matter of fact, I take care of some of their other children while they're the ones going. It's not uncommon because they know I don't get into all that stuff, and they know that I'm a man, don't get me wrong. Understand that, a white-blooded American male. And there's no sense, I'm not telling you anything different, but they do all these parties and order all this stuff. Well, who gets the kids? I'm good enough to get the kids for all this, and I'm a good enough person to do that. And then when everybody sees a little bit of distress, they're going to throw me under the bus. You know, they need to re-examine all these other actions, how, you know, and I can understand the family wanting to vent and stress.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes perfect sense to me, but these people know me better than what's going on. And before this is all over and done with, you all are too, but it bothers me because not only have I been a victim, my mind's not even where it should be because I'm trying to protect Eli from this. And he's the most important person that I'm trying to protect. I don't care about them dragging my name through the mud right now because I want to keep the main focus and emphasis on bringing her back safely and as quickly as possible. But it really bothers me what's being done in the method that everybody's pursuing and doing, because what's going to happen is I don't want their apology. I don't want nothing from them. But then after this is all said and done, they're going to sweep it under the rug, and then they're just going to forget about what they've done to me in the process. Mm-hmm. What I've got to be faced with now is, as good a mother as Crystal's been, now nobody's going to love you like a mother. Now Eli is in an atmosphere where I've got all the hope in the world, but now I'm a single parent, it appears to me, where she's been there 100% of the time for him to raise and rear him, where I know that he didn't have to go to a daycare or a babysitter, and I know that his mother is going to take care of him. And now, where am I at without that love and support from her? Mm-hmm. Now I've got a little boy who's 2, who's going to grow up his life. if something's not done where she's not brought back safely, now one of the very most important people in his life, he's got to grow up without.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh.
And I'm in here answering a bunch of bullshit that I'm doing the best that I can possibly do with, but it's taken a lot of energy and effort away from the other efforts that could be out there trying to help and bring her back here safely. I can't even go out on the side of the road without looking like a murderer or something like that. It's wrong. I've been extremely honest with you all, and now I'm up here doing all they can have the house. Y'all take anything that you want. You don't need any of that paperwork or search warrants. And now I'm up here trying to get my head where I can be on the side of being able to protect myself and defend myself for my son whenever I'm the one that's, I feel like, has the largest loss.
Yeah.
So do what you got to do. I'll do whatever I can, but this is starting to get silly. I don't need an attorney. I haven't asked for an attorney. I don't need none of that. I'm innocent. I'm willing to talk to whoever. But this to me is really starting to get silly, because I feel like I don't have a Facebook page. I don't have time to get on the internet. I don't know a lot about computers. Crystal did all that for me. I didn't have to do it because that's something else that she always took care of. So now I have people coming back to me telling me that they're completely trashing me online for the whole media. You know, I've taken 17 years of my life, and I feel like I've worked hard to get a good education. I've worked hard all these years. I've built a nice life for me and my family, and now my whole family's name is trashed for something that's completely not even tied to me. That's where I'm at right now. So I'm extremely upset. I'm hurt over it. I try to put on a tough shell and a bubble and move forward. It's extremely difficult to get up in the morning and push on and look at Eli and know that here I've got a million things going on that I have to get done. And then who's going to suffer? He is. And it's not right. I'm ready to hire an auctioneer to sell all this stuff so I can be there for him like Chris. What else do you want to know?
Take a minute, it's all right.
No,
It's fine to be upset. I understand. It's fine to be mad. I understand that too.
he's there asking for everybody. This is a shock to him.
It's okay to be upset by it. I understand. It's okay to be upset at her family. They're
Yeah, but their emotions are so shot right now, and I can understand it. And I don't, if that's how they want to be in,
But you're allowed to be emotional too.
that's fine.
You're allowed
What
to
they're
be
mad about is the darn cell phone that I took away from Ashley because her mother told for me to take it away from her. That's what they're mad about. And it's just been a spiral since then in October. And ever since then, their attitude towards me and everything is so wrong. For punishing a 16-year-old girl when she's not hurt, she's not hit, nothing like that. And I'm the worst person in the world for having any, and I understand I'm not her dad, I'm not her disciplinary figure. She disobeyed her mother. I followed a direct order from her mother. Her mother couldn't get it from her. I took her cell phone from her, and then it's just been hell ever since.
That was the whole thing about the wrist.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they took her up to the hospital and did the same with CPS and all this bunch of garbage. They ruled it unsubstantiated, or however they wanted to say it. No bearing, or whatever. When you pull the reports, they documented it all. You can get all that stuff too.
You want some water?
No, I'm good. Let's move forward. Whatever you need, I'm here to give to you.
Okay.
I'm innocent. I don't need an attorney, so I'm good. Ask whatever you want to ask.
Well, if we can just continue with the conversation, and I don't want to rush you. Take your time. I think we left off around about Saturday morning. So you guys got up, and she wasn't there. So you and Eli got ready and went to the farm. Did you go anywhere else before you went to the farm?
I didn't stop at McDonald's or nothing to get any kind of breakfast because he had that yogurt, that squeezable
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
breakfast, whatever. I don't know, whatever. Some of them still in the refrigerator if you want one.
That's fine. So you went to the farm, and was your mom there Saturday? Do you remember?
I didn't stop at the house up there either that morning.
What do you do with Eli while you're working on the equipment? Do you have, is he in the equipment with
I'm
you?
usually not one that works on the equipment. Sometimes I might drive some of it, but yeah, if I get on that little tractor, he rides in my lap.
No, but I'm saying you said you worked on the driveway, on the drive in front of the barn there. Saturday.
Yeah, but no, he's got 5 or 6 tricycles and big wheels and stuff like that he plays on.
And
It don't take a lot.
this isn't about your parenting skills. Don't misunderstand.
I understand, yeah, but
I'm not asking you about that, but if you're working on the dozer, is Eli in the dozer with you, or is he out playing in the yard?
I'm not really working on the dozer. He's got 5 or 6 of them tricycles and big wheels things that are at the barn. And if he's not out there with the cows or something, he rides them little toys around. We got them down there in the barn. We got them out there in the driveway. It don't take a lot to entertain him. A lot of times he pedals or does whatever he does.
Sure. But how long would you think that it took you to fix that area you said was taking on water there in front of the barn with the dog?
No, I don't know. A lot of times on Saturday, I just use that as a place to vent and get away from what I call the city, not just like Bardstown, the city, but all the
Right.
city stuff that goes on, loud music and all that. Out there, you hear crickets.
Yeah.
You know, you don't hear a lot of people. So I'll go out there to kind of, a lot of times just to get away from the stress of all these tenants and stuff, calling these new construction contractors and stuff. It's a kind of a little vacation away from home.
Right, but you told me earlier that on Saturday you fixed the spot in front of the barn where the water was going in.
Yeah, if the water's not, if it's not been like raining a solid week or whatever, you can't really tell if it hits and misses. Sometimes if we get a substantial amount of rain, you can kind of tell where problems are, like, you know, and I could tell. So that's just what I did. Just piddle, just nothing important, just piddle.
Right, but would Eli normally be in the bulldozer with you while you're operating it? Was he in there with you while you were operating it?
He's drove, but not that more there he wasn't. But yeah, I mean, he has been in. He's drove the bulldozer before. He's drove all the tractors out there before.
Okay. So that morning, did you say mom was or wasn't home? You don't know?
I don't remember.
You don't know. Okay. So you don't know that he was out riding on his tricycles or whatever. When you said in the driveway, you mean the driveway for the house or the driveway where that you're working on?
Say it again now.
You said you were working on the driveway in front of the barn with the dozer, right?
Yeah, down there by.
And you said he was probably riding on tricycles or something.
Yeah, I'm sure he was running on the concrete slab. It's easier for him to pedal on the slab than it is outside there, and I can see him better. My visibility's better if he's in there than out here.
Right. So he was here by the barn and not over by the house in the driveway.
No, he wasn't.
Gotcha. Okay. So you guys finish up whatever you're
Maybe later that day or something, he might have went over there. The chickens might come down there. He might have done something with them. I don't know. But it's not uncommon for him to, the chickens out there, they can be fast, but they're not scared of people because he plays with them so much. But you can catch them pretty easy. I mean, he treats them like a cat.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, any idea how long you were out there? Saturday?
It was usually on Saturday, I'm not in any kind of a rush because I try to take, I usually try to take it easy on Saturday.
Okay. So did you eat lunch out there?
I don't know if I ate lunch there. I know I ate supper out there at Fagan's house that night because he had everybody over there at his house there's about, I don't know, maybe 150 people over there at my mom's brother's house. We went out there for a short while. It wasn't real long. Um, I know I ate there. Eli ate there. I don't know what we did for lunch. I can't remember.
Okay. Did you go from the farm to Fabian's, or had you?
I don't know if I took I may have went home and taken a shower from being out there on the farm. You know, I don't want to go there and smell like a bunch of cows.
Sure.
I may have went home. I'm not sure. I don't know. I may have went home and took a shower and then came back. That's more than likely what I did, but I can't remember.
Okay. So then sometime Saturday evening, you went over to Fabian's house. Do you remember around about what time that was? That would have been 4th of July.
Yeah, that's when we were supposed to go to that.
Mm-hmm. Did you all stay out there for fireworks, or?
We didn't stay that late. I know that there was a bunch of people there that I hadn't seen in a good while. That my mom's got a pretty large family that I hadn't seen that I wanted to see them, but we didn't stay out there real late.
Do you any idea how many times you called Crystal at this point? By the time you went from getting up Saturday morning until you were going to the family gathering?
I know I called her back around maybe noon again the second time, and I don't know what the exact time I called her after that, but I know that sometimes in the past, if I called her and blow her phone up, it made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I've just called periodically, and I found that she doesn't take as much offense to that. You know, if you're just disrespectful to them, especially somebody's mad, it just makes it worse. To
right.
keep calling them. I wasn't even alarmed. I was for sure the girls were doing this to me on purpose. Brooke and Sabrina and them.
So while you're at the family gathering at Fabian's house, anybody ask you where Crystal was?
Mm-hmm. She hadn't went out there to Fabian's house a whole lot. Some of them people knew her, some of them people out there wouldn't have known her, but right then I don't
Not
remember.
really a big deal for them.
No, and it's something that those people there we see once ever, sometimes every few years. So a lot of them people really hadn't. Some of them have seen her, and a lot of them have not seen her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, haven't met her.
Sure.
So like I said, it was a substantial amount of people.
You're out there. You said did you say you didn't stay for fireworks?
No, we didn't stay that late.
So you and Eli leave before dark.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's usually when people set off fireworks on 4th of July. And do you go home? Do you go to somebody else's house?
That was on Saturday.
Yep, that was Saturday. Do you go to mom's? Where do you go after you leave there?
Okay, yeah, I'm going to end it here. We've got about 50 minutes left on it. I have to get up early in the morning. I got to be back up at like 3.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
This man talks a good game, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. You can just so tell he is. I do believe the part about giving the little boy the Go-Gurt.
Yeah.
I think that happened. He took the little boy to the farm. All that's probably true, but him not knowing where Crystal was at is a lie. Jamie, you have a wonderful night. There might be some truths in there, but there's a shit ton of lies.
And
Yeah.
when he tried to get emotional, I was just
God. Yeah,
it was so fake.
if I would have rolled my eyes any harder at that, they would have been stuck in the back of my head. For real.
All right, girl. Well, I'm gonna go down and you get you some sleep.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay, yeah, I'll be back up at 3. So.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for
Good
coming
night.
up.
Okay. Good
Yep.
night.
Good night.
Oh, King, you should have seen it earlier. He was totally faking them tears. Okay, y'all. So I need to get out of here. I still got to shower and eat and be back up at 3. We'll finish it tomorrow night, and we'll go over what all they talk about tomorrow during the trial. Gigi, have a wonderful night. But thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. For those who did the gifted memberships, thank you. To Maisie who did the super chat, thank you. That was very nice of y'all. I will be back either tomorrow night at 10 or 10:30. I don't know yet, but it'll be one of those two times. But I will definitely be back tomorrow night. Patsy, have a wonderful night. Gigi, you are very welcome. All right, so I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.